Today we're going to install one of the best toilet bidet combinations you can buy. This is a TOTO S7 with the Nexus, one of our favorite combinations. So today we're going to install it. If you would like to see how to install an auto flush kit on this setup, comment below, let us know, because we can definitely do a video on that. That's not part of this video. Today we're just going to talk about the toilet and the bidet and how they go together. Tools you're going to need today, you're going to need a drill with an adjustable clutch or handheld screwdrivers. The bits for it, or screwdrivers you're going to need, is a Phillips 2 and a Phillips 3. It's also good to have a drill bit. This is a 3/16. If you're drilling into ceramic tile or concrete, you're going to need a bigger drill bit, but this is wood with vinyl tile, so that'll be fine. Some sort of open-end wrench. I really like this guy. This is an adjustable, flat, edged gooseneck pliers, so we like these. And something to mark the tile so that you know where you're going with this install. So let's get started. To get started, you're gonna take your template. Depending if you have a 12 or 14-inch rough end, that's the distance from your flange to the wall, you'll take out the circle for the 12 or 14-inch here. Our setup is 12. Set the hole over your flange and line it up. Once you have it lined up, take some tape, and I have a couple pieces here I prepared ahead of time. I'm just gonna set that there, pull this one back, tape there, looking pretty good. Piece of tape on there and this side. At this point, take your 3/16 drill bit, get it set up. And in these 4 locations, you're gonna drill out places for screws. The back 2 locations, you're just gonna mark. I do that with the dry erase. Now you're gonna take your dry erase marker and you're gonna hit this line here. You're gonna see an A with a line. You're also gonna mark that here. Why you do that is so that you can line the toilet up to the right spot on the flange adapter when you install it. These marks are gonna line up with the holes in the side of the toilet. Now we can take away this guide. Now you install your wax ring. We prefer the better than wax, but wax works just fine. Your wax ring is going to come with this hardware. It does not come with your toilet. The better than wax goes on like this. You throw your bolts in, set your wax ring down. It's got little clear plastic washers that help hold everything in place. You click those down and now it's held in place like that. Take your flange adapter and line up the bolts through the holes in the flange adapter. Drop a washer over the top. I'm gonna push down to compress this a little bit, not a whole lot yet, but just enough to make sure I can get it snug. And spin that down on one side, washer here, and a nut like this. Okay, I'm gonna push down a little bit more and tighten both sides. And at this point, I'm gonna make sure that the holes in the back of the flange adapter here are right over those marks I made. Set up your drill with the Phillips head. This is the Phillips number 2. And you're gonna take the small screws that have a kind of a pan head on them. They'll probably be on the back, taped to the back of this adapter when you get it. Make sure the clutch on your drill is set very low so that you do not over tighten these. It's a good idea to use a screwdriver, but it's a lot quicker with this drill. So as long as your clutch is set to a very sensitive setting, you shouldn't break anything. Now that it's tightened in the back, we're gonna just snug this down a little bit more up front. Now we're going to install these blocks, which are gonna help hold the toilet in place. They do come with these mollies. Again, if you're dealing with concrete or ceramic tile, you're gonna need these. You drill out a larger hole with your ceramic or concrete bit and use these. We don't need them in this scenario. What we're gonna do is take this block and set it over those holes. Take a metal washer, set it right over one of the holes, and put a screw in just like that. And on the other side. Take your drill or screwdriver, swap for the Phillips number 3 bit. This is the larger Phillips head. Again, torque on your drill if you're using one set very low. You do not want to break anything. This is metal screws into plastic and wood. I'll click it up a couple settings on the clutch. And just make sure that's secure. It is. Bring my clutch back down. And that's really secure. You do not need much torque to put these guys in. You've already pre-drilled the holes. So this is a number 4 on here, almost as sensitive as it goes on that clutch. The next step is taking the toilet and placing it on top of the flange adapter. You'll see on this toilet a little hole here. You're gonna line that hole up with the mark on the floor just outside on each side. This is a nice thing to have a helping hand with. So if you have a friend close by, have them help you lift it on. And you'll see as soon as the holes are over that mark on each side, it drops right onto that flange adapter. Now, I'm in a spot where I have access all the way around here. You're not gonna have that in your bathroom, so get help for that process. And I get that this is easier for me than it is in your scenario. But once that's in place, make sure that you have it where you like it, that it's square to the room, square to the wall. You can check distance to the wall on both sides of the back of the tank. Make sure it's square. And now we're going to take these big screws with this cutout in the head of the screw and put them into the sides of the toilet to secure it into place. Again, Phillips number 3 and clutch setting very, very low. You'll see that my clutch stops it here. I'm gonna tighten it, increase the strength of that clutch. I'm gonna increase it more, and stop there. Once you have the screw in, you're gonna take this little cover and cover that hole. We'll head to the other side and do the same thing. I'm gonna take the clutch on my screwdriver and bring it back down to almost no torque. The clutch started releasing, so I'm going to tighten it up a little bit. 2 clicks more, and we're good. Just once it gets the slightest bit tight to that porcelain, stop. You do not want to pull this into the porcelain. The porcelain is brittle. You do not want to over tighten any of this stuff. Take your cover, place it into the screw, and now you've got a really flush side. Take the lid, throw it on the toilet here, if you can't find the lid, check this piece of cardboard in the main box. It is near the bottom of the box on this side piece of cardboard. It's kind of collapsed like this inside the main box, and your lid is down here. Really easy to miss that. Now we're gonna get started with the bidet install. We'll start with these two rubber sleeves. We're gonna set them in here, and you can push it in by hand. Just kind of wiggle it back and forth and push it in, and that can work. Or you can take one of the bolts, screw it in just slightly, take your screwdriver with a Phillips number 2 bit and push from the top, a little wiggle around, and it's gonna fall in a whole lot easier this way. Untwist it, and now you've got your sleeve in place. Now we're gonna take the hose and power cord and run them through the hole in the toilet so that they can be hidden. So I'll take the power cord, run it through this hole and towards the wall, like that, and the hose, and run it through just like that. Now once this is here, we can install our mounting plate, and we already have our hoses in place. When we install the mounting plate, just make sure that the hooks are facing forward. Drop the bolts in through the sleeves. You can use a screwdriver again or a drill with your clutch set to a very sensitive torque setting. And again, this is a Phillips number 2. Do not pressure down a lot at the beginning of this. You need that rubber sleeve to stay up in the hole. If you push down at the beginning, you could pop it all the way through into the back of the toilet. So don't pressure down until you can see it starting to lift as you tighten. Once you have it somewhat tight, see if you can move it with your hand. If you can move it with your hand, increase the torque just slightly and tighten it a little more. And now it's really tight. Take the bidet, slide it backwards, make sure those cords are sliding into the hole, line up the back of the bidet with the mounting plate, push it backwards, and push it until you hear it click. Now the bidet is really secured in place. We've got to hook up the water and the power. In this scenario, we do not have a supply hose yet. In your home, you may already have a supply hose. I have found that a 9-inch supply hose works in this scenario. You may find a different length works in yours, but I'm gonna attach it down here. Again, I have a lot of access back through this area that you won't have in your home. So it can be a little tight getting back here to work. Tighten this T-connector to the bottom of the toilet. Take our supply hose and connect it to the bottom of this T-connector. If you feel like you're cross-threaded, you can always back those threads away and then tighten. These are plastic threads. Don't over-tighten. Your rubber seal in these is how they stay sealed, so don't over-tighten it. It should be just fine, hand tight. Then take your bidet, make sure those rubber O-rings are there. Slide those O-rings in and tighten, just hand tight again with that. Now that we have our connections tight, I'm gonna turn on the water. And I'm gonna check all 3 connection points for leaks. As the toilet fills, we'll start getting a little more back pressure. So we wanna make sure we have no leaking. If you have leaking, turn off the water. Check the whole system for O-rings and washers. Make sure that all of the rubber seals are in place, and that will help make sure that everything runs well. Now that all that's done, we're gonna take the power cord and plug it into your GFCI outlet and watch your bidet boot up. Your remote control is going to come with an extra mounting plate that it can lock into, or the one that it comes sitting in the packaging is just magnetically holding it in place. I like that one because it's easy to remove. If you install on this one, once it clicks in, it really locks in place and it's almost impossible to get it off. So I really recommend using the magnetic holder like this. It is also going to come with screws and mollies. The screws are going to go through the mounting plate and into the wall. If you need the mollies, they do come with it. How do you install the batteries? On the bottom of the remote, there's a little spot in the middle. If you push in on that and pull towards the back of the remote, in this scenario that is upwards, you're gonna put the negative side or the flat side of the battery towards the big coil spring like this. These are AAA batteries, 2 AAAs. They do come with the unit. Slide them in. Take the battery compartment door with these little nubs facing upwards. Slide those nubs into the remote and click it in, and you're good to go. Now it's time to test the unit. I can see the pre-mist run, so that's great. I can see water's running through it. There is a skin sensor here. If you throw your hand over that skin sensor, it's gonna run a pre-rinse because it thinks someone is sitting on the toilet. Now, if I try and run a wash, it thinks someone's seated, so it'll try and run one. I'll throw my hand over it to catch that water, and it works. I remove my hand from the skin sensor, it turns itself off, and it's fully installed. One of the great things about this unit is that over here you have no hoses and cords. It's a really sleek setup, and we're all set with the install. If you have questions about bidets, reach out. We would love to help. We sell these, plenty of other bidets, and integrated bidet toilets on our website. So go visit us at minibidets.com.
minibidets.com, where we sell mini bidets, not mini bidets.